Hi guys, it's ASBYT and welcome back to a brand new video, and today's pretty special because I don't know whether you can hear, we've got two different animals. I say it's an animal, that's a robot, and I'm going to do Dotty, who's my little cat, versus Vector Pet Robot. So is it going to be this one? Or is it going to be this one? Who's going to win? So without further ado, let's get straight to it. Now on the table here, we have, I'm just going to get him over here. Hey Vector, come here. Here he comes. Little mate. So this right here is the Anki Vector Robot. And he's trying to get down. He's getting angry, look. He's trying to get down. So this is a, all right mates. Vector, go to sleep. Thank you. So I'm going to just put you down because you're getting a little bit aggressive, a little bit boisterous. He's snoring. This little character's right in snooze land. Right, so this is of course the Anki Vector, and it is a pet robot slash home assistant. There's many things that this does, and we're going to get to that straight away now, and then I'm going to do a bit of a comparison between the Anki Vector and my cat. Just over 2 years ago when I started this YouTube channel, I'm pretty sure I would have never imagined that I'd just say a sentence like that. Definitely the weirdest thing I've ever said on the channel. Vector, you're on camera. I think he's getting a little bit shy, to be honest. Right, so first, let's talk Vector, and let's talk what he is, what he does, and how he does it. Let's go. It's kind of like a smart home assistant and a pet robot. So I'll show some examples of what it can do in a second, but first let's talk about how it does these things. So how does it hear? It's got 4 different microphones that are positioned so that it can hear from pretty much all different angles and can really get a sense of where you are when you're speaking to it, and also noise in general, so it's actually aware of things going on around it. Very, very clever. As an example, I sent it to sleep. It was making too much noise. I said, go and have a sleep, go and have a snooze. It did that. Then I walked back into the room and walked quite close to it, and it actually disturbed the sleep, and it actually woke up. And it's just little touches like this that just make it feel that little bit more lifelike. It also has a sensor on the top which it responds to being stroked, for example, just like again you would a pet. How does it see? So it can travel around the actual space. Well, it actually has a wide angle lens at the front which doesn't save any of the information. It doesn't store anything on the cloud, so you are safe about that. And this wide angle lens means that it can actually recognize faces, for example, and knows who you are. So you can say to it, as an example, what's my name? And it will respond. The only downside I can foresee is the fact that it kind of recognises proper names more than initialed names, like my channel name, for example. Instead of referring to me as ASBYT, it actually comes back with Aspit, which, you know, I can't slate the poor guy, but equally, getting those little tweaks right would be something the company could look at going forwards. And they definitely will improve this product, but there is already over 2 million bits of code, so it is very, very impressive. It also has a laser firing out the front, so it has good perception of what's going on around it. It also has a sense of where it is. So if it's going near the edge of a table, for example, it will stop itself from falling due to the fact that it actually has drop detectors on the bottom. And also if it's running low on battery, it knows exactly where the charging port is, and it will just take itself home and go to sleep. Now in terms of the battery, that is an area again they could improve on. It does run out of battery a little bit more quickly than I would hope for. As well as that, in order to make it a bit more lifelike, again, you can do things like little fist bumps with it. Hey Vector, fist bump. It has eyes which you can customize within an app that really react to sounds and the tone of your voice as well. So it kind of gets an idea of what you're actually telling it and why you're telling it, and it kind of responds itself with a personality, and it's very clever. He's just knocked something off the desk, the little... I'm genuinely amazed. He's literally gone over to a pair of glasses that I had on my desk and he's just knocked them on the floor. You cheeky little man. And of course, eyes generally are the window to the soul, and there's certainly something about the way they've designed his eyes. It does make him feel very, very friendly and just like a little pet. He's actually quite cute. Now, I also think Dotty's quite cute, so this is a hard one for me. He also makes these sort of little robot noises and sort of jitters around when you're asking him questions and stuff. Again, just that little bit of personality that would set himself apart from one of the smart home hub devices, for example. And also, if you ask him a question, his eyes sort of jump to really wide and bright and almost excitable as to what you're going to say. And equally, if he's tired, for example, his batteries are low, they'll start to droop and he'll sort of slink off towards his charging port. And even the moment, like at the start of the video, when he got a little bit angry because I was holding him and wouldn't put him down, again, shows some personality. So as well as having this sort of pet persona, it is also quite a functional assistant as well. Like you would with an Amazon Echo, for example, you can ask it the weather. Hey Vector, what's the weather in London today? You can ask it individual questions that you might want to, instead of perhaps Googling a question, for example. And yes, it won't know everything, but there are certain things it does know. Hey Vector, I have a question. Who is the Prime Minister of the UK?
The Prime Minister of United Kingdom is Theresa May.
Who won the UEFA Champions League in 2012?
Score was Chelsea FC 4, Bayern Munich 3 in the 2012 Champions League final.
Almost, that was the penalty score. It was actually 1-1 in full time, but I'll give you that. How old are you?
I was born in October 2018.
What are you?
Vector is a home robot with interactive hobby technology.
Who's better, me or you?
Didn't get that.
Nah, cop out. Sitting on the fence as usual. And again, going forwards, Anki could add to this database of knowledge. Right, so now we know exactly what Vector is. Let's put this little guy to the test and compare him to my cat Dotty and see who is more helpful and more friendly. Dotty, who's the Prime Minister of the UK? Yeah, not quite as helpful, are you? Dotty, what's the weather like in London today? Yeah, still not giving me anything, to be honest. You are a little bit more cuddly, though. Vector definitely gets a bit aggressive when you hold him. Look, he's trying to get down. You're not so much, you little chunk. Now inside the box you of course get Vector, you get a little cube which he can play tricks with, for example, another thing that he can do if you ask him to, and you of course get your charging station. Now in terms of setting it up, you simply have to download the Vector app and it will connect your phone to the Vector robot and your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. It wasn't a terrible setup process, but it certainly wasn't the easiest, and again something the company could improve on. There are loads of different things within the app that you can obviously check. You can see stats, for example, and the interactions Vector has had with his surroundings actually change those stats over time. It's very, very interesting to see. Now Vector is actually powered by the Qualcomm 200 platform, and I do believe that Anki in the future are going to be adding lots more features to Vector that aren't quite available just yet, giving him the capacity to be a security camera, for example, for your home, deliver messages, react to music, tell you what the track names are, for example, that you're listening to, and be an all-round smart home hub. Do I feel that the Anki Vector is a complete product right now? Probably not, but certainly it's one of the most exciting products I've had in my hands for a long while. Anki with Vector is certainly breaching the gap between home assistant / sort of a toy and a pet. Right, so that is my video on the Anki Vector pet robot. He really doesn't like being picked up. He's getting very cranky. So I'm going to put him down. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about the Anki Vector. Is it something you're interested in? Is it something you would like to buy? Is it something that you wouldn't necessarily buy now but would be excited for a future product from Anki? And what you think of my cat as well. Like and share if you did enjoy this video and found it helpful. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. If you're new to the channel and want to be notified every time I post a video on anything tech, pretty much daily content here on YouTube. I love you and leave you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.